Good morning, everyone. As soon as we have our seating situation figured out, we're going to get started. We got a lot to do today. What's up with that? That's apparently like people in politics in America avoiding the center. Anyhow, thank you. For those of you who are on the wings, moving into the middle, we do appreciate it. So here we are at the end of the school year. Who can tell me how many days you have left? Say it again. 28 school days. I just love the fact that when seniors get close, every day, every hour matters. So, strive. I think a few of you have taken something away this year, and I'm going to say that based on the essays that I read. And for some of you, it's like, okay, we're going to go kill a half an hour and just sit in the auditorium and listen to some people speak. That's the way life is, okay? You get out what you put in or what you look for or what you take from it. I didn't come here this year. I haven't done this for 19 years because I thought, well, every person in the room is going to hear the message. We speak anyhow because some of you will take these words and they will help you. You know, I told you that at the beginning of the year, that you all have something that is unique to you, and it's called your perspective. Nobody in this room has the same exact look on everything that you do. Nobody has your birth order in your family besides you. Nobody has the parents that you do. Nobody has the environment that you grew up in. Nobody has the things, the gifts, the talents that you were born with. It really is unique. And that's why when you get people together, it's hard to get them to agree on what they see or what they feel or what they think. What the hope was this year is that we wanted to try and shorten the learning curve. And that's what life will be. Whether you want to or not, you are going to learn some lessons going forward. Let's just cover our year, what we did this year, and who we heard from. So we started off the year with our superintendent, Patrick Olson, who talked about losing both his parents and a brother before his 19th year, by the time he was 19, and then the health issues that he's had in the last couple of years. It's interesting, his situation is causing him to greatly reevaluate what his career goal is. And I think you all know he's leaving the district at the end of the year. And when you ask him, what are you going to do? You know what he'll tell you? I don't really know. Think about that for a second. Craig Gillick, police chief, grew up with a serial murder in the house and how he got into law enforcement. Interesting story, not a straight road at all. Dina Bisey, the individual that I work with, she opened her life up to her childhood trauma that she suffered, which led to drug abuse, a felony conviction, before she was able to kind of get on a road that led her to some very positive things in her life. Turning point was here in January when I wasn't. They talked, and you all understand that domestic abuse is real, and unfortunately some of you know how real it is. But I think all the rest of you got a chance to hear about the fact that it happens right here in the local area, in our community. And then Nicole Blasick was here. She talked about losing her brother when she was a freshman in college. She has had multiple miscarriages, and then what she went through to adopt a child from Africa. That's what we did this year. The common themes, and I've talked about this, everyone has challenges in their life. Even the people who look today like they got it all together. So you have no idea what road people have walked to get to where they are. It would be pretty hard to find a person that just was on the golden highway, if you will, for their whole life. And I said to you, the one thing I can guarantee you is that you're going to have challenges in your life. Now, there's some of you in this room, statistically, have already dealt with some pretty horrific things. Don't worry, I have no idea what they are. I'm just telling you. Statistically, I know that. But the rest of you will be dealing with some pretty hard things. For most of you, challenges that you've had in your life to this point, in the next 10 years, won't make your top 25 list of challenges you've had in your life. Do I tell you that to, oh, wow, I don't want to get old, I don't want to, no. But I don't think you can help yourself by not being ready for what's in front of you. And it doesn't mean it's terrible. Some of you will suffer unbelievable tragedies. And again, I'm just saying that statistically. If you're not ready for challenges and they come, you will get knocked over. And I will tell you from my perspective, the measure of a person is not in the fact that they don't get knocked over, because everybody does. It's how are you going to get back up? I want to ask you a question, if any of you remember this, okay? I want you to think back to when you were floating around in your mama's belly. Okay, you're in the womb. Just floating around, y'all remember that? And you're just floating around, nice and warm, all that liquid around you, minding your own business. Some of you obviously do remember. And then one day, this person walks in. Big, long beard. Kind of thinking about Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings, kind of this thing I got in mind. And this person says to you, hey, come with me. I want you to come into this other room in the womb. Yeah, the womb's got lots of rooms in it, okay? But they took you to the other room. And he pointed to the walls, and there are shelves up there. And you're looking at these shelves, and there's boxes up there. And you see there's writing on these boxes. One of them says music. One of them says intellect. One of them says art. One of them says athletic ability. There's lots and lots of boxes. That's just 4 that I can remember. And this person looks at you, and while pointing, asks you, which ones do you want? These are gifts and talents. Which one of these do you want? Who remembers that when that happened? Does anybody remember it? Well, that's good, because it didn't happen. And here's the point. You didn't get to choose how smart you are, how fast you can run, whether you are musically inclined or artistically inclined. You didn't get to choose your parents, where or when you were born. There are people in the world today who have, it's a challenge if they're going to make it to age 10 because of where they are born in the world today. You didn't get to choose that. So, what's the point of that? When you're in school, there's always this comparison thing. How you doing compared to the person next to you? For you athletes, that's why we keep score, right? Comparison. But the successful people in life, and when I say successful, I'm talking about folks who can live contentedly, understand that comparison has to stop, because not everybody's the same and doesn't have the same gifts and talents. The reality is, and you can go ahead and put that first one up, Jody. While we're working through the technology of this, we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, we got winners to announce today, but before we do that, I got 3 questions I want to ask you. And you don't have to put your hands up in the air. What do you really want for your life? How many of you have thought about that? I'm not talking about next week or next month or next year, but when you get to be an old person like me, what do you want? I want you to think about a movie, and it's the movie of your life, and what do you want it to look like? Because you need to decide how you're going to get there. And the last thing you have to ask yourself is, what are you going to need to sacrifice today to get there tomorrow? Sacrifice? There's some athletes in the room who probably understand that word. But it's not a concept that society embraces today. Okay, the message that society gives us is you can have it all. Well, that's a lie. But start thinking about what you want for your life. Because if you don't have a destination for your life, guess what? Any road is going to get you there. Any road won't necessarily get you to if you see good things for yourself. And it's kind of funny if I asked you all seriously to tell me what is it that you want for your life. Some of you are going to say, well, I'd like to be rich and famous. I said this before. If that's your goal, make a new goal. Some of you will be very wealthy. But if that's your goal, I'm telling you, when you get there, you will not be happy. The Rotary Club is doing something different this year. We told you at the beginning of the year we were going to pick one essay winner, but the essays that I got were so unbelievably vulnerable, and they were so good, the Rotary Club agreed to provide a scholarship to 3 people. And I want you to come up on the stage now as I read your name. Bailey Higgins, Kaisa Engstrom, and Hattie Harold. Now, just because I know a couple of your parents, I think I know who you are. You're Hattie, and you're Kaisa. Am I saying it right? And that means you're Bailey. How did I figure that out? I'm not going to put you heavy on the spot. I don't want you to talk about your essay at all, except this. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. Listening to the speakers, and you wrote about it, how did Strive impact you this year? And do you think this is worthwhile for seniors to hear?
I definitely think it's worthwhile. I don't know, it kind of just showed me that people go through different things and you can get through it, so.
Did any of our speakers' stories surprise you, what was going on in their lives before they got to where they are today?
I guess all of them kind of surprised me a little bit because I wasn't really knowing what to expect when I went into it.
Okay. Kaisa, what about you? What impacted you the most?
I think hearing like stories about people that you wouldn't have thought that they would have gone through so much adversity to get to the place in life that they are right now, like really opened my eyes to see like how many different paths there are to get to where they are today.
Okay. And then Hattie, not necessarily specific content, but what did you find to be the most impactful, the idea behind what we had some of our speakers share?
Kind of the success isn't like about staying on a good path, but kind of like you said, when you fall, getting back up and realizing that everyone falls at some point.
That's awesome. Once again, let's give a round of applause. Thank you. You all can have a seat. And I am asking the 3 of you and our GPA winners to stick around afterwards. We're just going to get a quick photo, and I'll explain the details of your scholarship to you. So it's an awesome job, awesome job. Rotary Club's never done that before, awarded multiple scholarships, but we're doing it this year. Awesome job. All right, what were the tenets of Strive in terms of what you had to do? You had to come to meetings, you had to stay in school, you couldn't get any Fs, you had to do an empowerment activity, and you had to improve your GPA. I am going to tell you as I re-describe that to you right now, none of that seems like that's insurmountable. But if I remember correctly, the information Ms. Bartlett shared with me last week, is there 200 kids in this class? Okay, 224, sorry for calling you kids. I know you're all adults, right? But, and actually, Miss Millie's up there telling me Mike quit walking around. So we had probably less than 25% really kind of got close to ringing most of those bells. And again, as I said to you at the beginning of the year, this is your deal. It's not my deal, it's your deal. You can put the work in, you can do the things that will lead to something better for you or can lead to something better for you. And I've been doing this long enough that I can tell you the story about a young lady who took her senior year of high school and kind of got it together and got going. She was our overall winner. 2 months into her academic year after high school, she quit college, moved in with her boyfriend, had a baby, and her life had just spiraled down. So this isn't a cure-all, by the way. We hired somebody at Bernard's a couple months ago who was a scholarship winner back in 2005. So, how's the story going to be? All right, GPA improvement. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top. So, I'm going to call your name out. Each one of you come up as I say your name if you're here. And we're going to start off with Joseph Nelson. Joe here today? Come on up. Come on up. All right, while Joseph is making his way here, he improved his GPA 0.5% and has won himself a $400 scholarship. So Joe, come on up here. Next up, I got Julian Perez Figueroa. Julian improved his GPA 0.63, won himself a $500 scholarship. Next up, Sydney Nolan. Sydney improved her GPA 0.66, has got a $525 scholarship. Next up, Caleb Wolf. You can slide down this a little bit. Caleb improved his GPA 0.67 and got a $525 scholarship. Next up, Noah Hughes. Noah improved his GPA 0.69, $550 scholarship. Ladies, I gotta tell you something. Just based on the reaction I got to that, no, guys don't really ever grow up. It's like they got the mind of a 14-year-old and they will take that with them all of their days. Next up is Grant Conlon. Grant improved his GPA 0.75, is getting a $625 scholarship. All right, we got 2 left. Next, Alina Rewald. Alina with us today? Doesn't look like it. All right, 0.79, $650 scholarship. And then our top performer with a GPA improvement of 1.24, Grace Dunn. Grace is getting a $1,200 scholarship. You surprised? Well, good job. Let's give it up for all our winners. All right, before I close, I'm just going to ask you quickly, no advance notice, going to put you on the spot. Some of you got tear in your eyes. How hard was it to improve your GPA?
I think I just needed to buckle down more and focus on my future. So I realized that I needed to get my GPA up, so I buckled down and focused more.
What did you see as a practical example from Strive that helped you improve your GPA?
Where they came from and then got themselves to. It doesn't matter where you come from, you can still make it someplace.
Okay, what was the hardest thing for you this year?
Homework.
Homework was hard. Good answer. How about you? You see value in what we did this year?
Oh yeah.
So that you got me there. What do you see for yourself after high school?
Just trying my best when I get out of high school and getting to college and graduating from college.
What do you want to do?
I want to be an occupational therapist.
Awesome. Congratulations. Before the year started, did you think you could improve your GPA?
No.
How were you able to do that?
Just working hard.
It worked. Nice job. And how about you? Did you think you'd be standing on the stage here today?
No, not really, but I just said to myself it's my senior year, so I might as well try.
Good job. Congratulations again. Hang on. We'll afterwards. I just want you to stick around. We're going to get a quick picture. Thank you all. You can take a seat. All right, Miss Millie, I think we're ready for that last slide. What's up with the pictures? That's a young me. Look at that head of hair. I thought the first thing you'd notice was no stash, but hey, what do you got? The point of this and why I asked our speakers this year to share pictures of themselves when they were a senior in high school, because here's the deal. Most of you can't imagine that your parents were ever young people. That's a fact. You can't imagine any of your teachers being teenagers, and especially for you guys, and thinking some of the dumb things that go through your head. You don't see that at all. But we all were. And when I tell you I remember my senior year in high school, which is now 43 years ago, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. If somebody wanted to ask me one-on-one, what were you doing in the middle of April in 1979, I can tell you what I was doing. I was thinking about my girlfriend. Who I would marry 4 months later. Don't clap for that, but you can clap for this. We're going to celebrate 43 years of marriage in August. But here's the thing, that wasn't the plan. All right? I had plans to go to college. I didn't. Because when you get married at 18 years of age, in August of the year you graduated from high school, it kind of forces you to change things. And here's the point about this. Decisions that you make have consequences. My life hasn't been very easy at times. I don't care today, right? But when you're young, sometimes you don't think there's going to be a tomorrow or a very good tomorrow. So just keep your heads up about that. As we get ready to close, I want you all to know that I appreciate the time and attention you've given me this year and our speakers. You really represented the class of 2022 very, very well. And I want to leave you with this. There's an individual by the name of Bill Gillespie. I have no idea who he is. He's not a local folk. He gave a commencement speech in 1967, and I just love the words of this, and I want to share this with you. It is nearly time for you to be off. This is not a time to concern ourselves with nostalgia. As a matter of fact, I don't believe that anybody has ever claimed that our school is a warm nest. But I hope, and I expect that, when you find yourselves involved in skirmishes on the frontiers of barbarism, which are not very far away, you'll strike some shrewd blows in favor of civilization. Someday, you'll come back and you'll show us your trophies and your scars, and we'll be glad to see you. I've enjoyed the year very much. Congratulations to all of you and the best. Thank you.